this shit again, bro.
So softly lighting up the night.
Floating, wavy like the ocean. My physical emotions show my spirit as an omen. I'm in motion like the seven seas. Connect with men and them who think like Elohim. My flow warm like a sunbeam. My third eye shine red like the waters in your bloodstream. Young king, my tongue shine without a tongue ring. My talking bling bling like it's nothing. Glowing like slick brick chains at its apex. You basic if you want love without the hatred. It's dangerous, having faith amongst the faithless. Just stay in tune with the ancient and amens. Prayers to the dead and those that deserve killing. Your life is a gift, your presence is Thanksgiving. And to the wise, every day is a holiday. And to my enemies, every day's a borrowed one. Black Storm. Peace, power, and prosperity. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. Yeah, we made it. We made it through 2024. How was your 2024? Was it up and down? Did you learn a lot of lessons? Were there things that were challenging? Did you get a raise? Did you get a new job? Did you start a new business? Did you have children? Did you move? How was your 2024? My 2024 had good times and it had bad times, right? And I'm sure most of you have the same type of 2024. 2024 being an 8-year, and an 8-year was really about building and destroying. In order to create a new foundation, you have to destroy the old one. And once you destroy the old one, a lot of times when you destroy the old one, it's painful, right? A building that's blown up is when it's destroyed, right? You see all the rubble and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, demolition of a building. Luckily I was in New York and able to see, building demolished, and then right close to me right now, there's actually a building being built, and I see a building being built from scratch and how ugly it looked. And now it's almost completed, right? They probably got like 1 more month or 2 more months, but I see how beautiful the building is starting to look, right? But ultimately it was an eyesore, right? Down the block. So this is definitely one of these type of years. Peace to Alaskan Avatar. Thank you for tapping in. And when you do tap in, definitely leave a comment or like. I'll be checking in on the chat from time to time. And your feedback is definitely welcome, and your support is definitely appreciated. Thank you for being patient with me. I know I kind of dipped off last year, but I was outside and inside and handling some things. Again, 2024 was a challenging year. So what I want to get into this particular day, I want to get into Capricorn season, which we are in. The energy of the new moon in Capricorn is still viable right now. It's still, yes, definitely a sine wave of a year for sure. That's an understatement. But this year, 2025, we gotta look back to where we're going. But like I said, we'll look back to where we came from actually, and then assess where we're going. So what I want to do is I want to talk about Capricorn season. Again, we're still under that new moon energy. We're still under a waxing moon. So that means that the light of the moon is becoming more and more illuminated as the days go by until we reach the full moon in Cancer later this month. I believe it is, I don't have it here, but yeah, I don't have the date here, but I believe it's someplace around the 15th, if I'm correct. Somebody could put in the chat what the exact day is. But we have this elevation of energy to keep it as simplistic as possible. When the moon is out and the moon is waxing, there's literally more energy coming into the body because the moon raises the tides, all right? It raises the water in the body. So as the moon is waxing, there's more and more light on the planet because now you have moonlight and you have sunlight. So what we want to do is harness this energy to start this new year off and really understand what Capricorn season is, get into some of the signs and the symbolisms of Capricorn season from some different cultures, and also look at some of the rituals and magic that we could do in order to master this year, right? Because this is what's going to set it off. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, this is really just the fiscal new year, and, that's valid. The real new year is in spring, right? This is things that have been circulating on social media a lot. So a lot of people are aware that the real new year is now in spring when things are actually growing. However, we are still in a time where we are able to utilize the energy of winter in order to plant seeds, in order to nurture ourselves, in order to go within, right? Go in sort of a hibernation period, just like the animals are, just like plant life is, just like uh, you know, even some mineral life is, right? A lot of things aren't growing right now. So it's a time to look within, right? It's cold outside. So it's a time to look within and really see what we need to work on, what we need to source, right? But again, in order to know where we're going with this Capricorn season, we got to know where we're coming from. So we have here, this was 2024. So 2024 was an 8 year, right? And the tarot card of strength represents the number 8. And like I said, if you went through 2024, you went through some sorts of ups and downs, right? Me, myself, my 2024 was crazy. How did I start 2024? I started 2024 with a fast. All right. So well, not even a fast. I'm lying. I didn't start a fast. What I did in 2024, I did fast, but not a food fast. What I fasted on, or starting from 12/21/2024, I stopped smoking weed, stopped looking at corn, right? um, what else? Uh, Weed, corn. What else? Got back to the gym. Um, and yeah, and there's something else that I stopped, but I basically like ceased habits that were like distracting me, or I felt that were holding me back. And and also I didn't ejaculate, right? For like, I didn't ejaculate. So all these things that I didn't do, I'd stopped all the way until March the 21st, right? And I felt very, very powerful all those months. Like, a lot of things were happening. I was producing a lot of content. A lot of great things were happening. And then shortly after the 21st, right? It's important to make sure that, fellas, ladies, make sure that when you are on a path, that you link up with people on the path, right? Because shortly after the 21st, I ended up hooking up with somebody that I shouldn't have, that really wasn't on the spiritual level. And we have to remember, sex is a sacred energy exchange, and this ties into the strength card as well. Sex is a sacred energy exchange, and when you're on this path, you know even if you're whatever, you're doing casual sex or whatever, right? Really, that's not really ideal during this time and during what's happening. But if you're a younger person, you're having casual sex, you want to do it with people that are on your frequency, right? That are in your lane, so to speak, that are matching your vibration, right? And can bring you some uh magnetism that will help you move along in life in some way, even if it's just a sexual manner, right? They should have some value, right? They should be striving, they should be on their path because you're on your path, right? So it's best to join with someone else that's working on themselves so that energy can rub on you, right? Rub off on you. I didn't do that, right? So shortly after, right, some things happened and I had a health scare, which I'll get into detail when I do my 2025 video on this weekend. When I do my 2025 video this weekend, I'll get into what the health scare was, right? But long story short, I beat the health scare this year, but I had to really fall back and look at myself and really go within, right? So I say that to say, when this card strength, right, of 2024 played out, and I talked about this at the beginning of the year. This, if you look at this card, right, the woman, she has the infinity symbol on the top of her head, right? 2024 equals 8. So this is why this is the 8th card in the major arcana on the tarot. And in this particular instance, right, last year was all about you developing inner strength. So whatever you went through last year was guiding you to this place. Whatever you went through had a destination uh inherent in it, right? And it was meant to help you achieve whatever your destiny is here on earth. So the challenges that you went through were meant to drive you and push you forward if you don't play the blame game, if you take accountability. And strength, right, is within. Strength is not being an alpha male. Strength is not being a tough guy or a tough girl or a gangster girl or a boss bitch or, a thug ass nigga. That's not real strength, right? That is external strength. And that external strength, right, is mostly based on ego. And a lot of times it's fake, it's false, it's not even real. And a lot of times when you put these so-called tough people in situations where they have to be tough, they fold, right? Where you put somebody that's screaming and yelling and you put them in a corner and really talk to them one-on-one, they don't really want no problems. They don't really want no war. They don't really want anything to happen, right? So the real strength comes from within. The real strength comes from your resilience. As you see, it is a feminine energy. And you see, she is holding this lion. The strength card is essentially the Sphinx, the Egyptian Sphinx, which is the head of a woman and the body of a lion. And this deals with mastering your emotions. This also deals with being patient, and this also deals with self control. All right. But this is all about mastering your emotions. The lion represents your emotions, right? Represents your emotional body where energy is in motion. And can you master your emotions? I thoroughly believe that if I didn't start 2024 with the how I started with the fasting from the corn, with the fasting from the ejaculation, with the fasting from the smoking, right? With all these things that I was implementing, that I wouldn't have survived because that's how critical my health situation was. I wouldn't have survived 2024, and I damn sure wouldn't have beat this health situation, right? If I didn't have the right mindset. So we have to put ourselves in a position to where we are able to control our urges, right? And once you control your urges, as you see in this card, there is abundance waiting for you. Anytime you see the flowers and the roses, right? And on top of her head is the infinity symbol. The infinity symbol just represents you sourcing your energy from the infinite. And the infinite, right? The universe, if you will, right? Is within you. Your soul contains all. You're a soul being having a spiritual experience in a human body. Your soul has what they call junk DNA, which is unlocked DNA, right? So we have everybody in this junk DNA that is in our ancestral family, whether they were a scientist, a warrior, a carpenter, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Mary McLeod Bethune, Brother Panic, right? Everybody is in the infinite, right? All these souls and all these light bodies are in the infinite for us to harness and use. But we have to develop inner strength. And this inner strength that we have comes from our ability to raise our energy to the point to where our focus is more important than our physical urges. That means fear, that's insecurity, that's laziness, that's drug abuse. Anything that you can't control controls you. Anything that you can't control controls you. This includes hate, this includes envy, this includes jealousy, right? And definitely fear, right? Fear is the main one, especially people, you see a lot of people in the spiritual culture, right? And a lot of times when they're talking, you know, it's strictly like left hand path stuff, right? And what I mean is it's strictly like, okay, We're gonna, you know, get get a candle for this and get a herb for this and get a crystal for this and wear this, and you go through the mechanisms of doing actual tangible things in order to get magical results, which we all do, right? We all throughout our on the path use some sort of tools in order to get specific results. But when you are entering, or when you are becoming the God that you truly are, right? The the whole point is not just to always use tools. The whole point is not always to use candles. The whole point is not always to have crystals on you. Because what if you're in a position where you don't have any tools? Are you not still magical? Are you not still a God body? Are you not still a light worker? Are you not still a dark worker? Are you not still a mystic? Right? Are these tools outside of you what make you who you are? So the inner strength is what was developed last year. Whether it was somebody who fucked you over, whether it was somebody that did you dirty, whether it was your baby mama or your boyfriend or your girlfriend broke up with you, there are lessons in those circumstances. And those lessons are going to give you strength again if you do not play the blame game, right? And what we have to do going into this Capricorn season is really, really be honest with ourselves. Now, I'm doing the same thing I did last year, right? The only difference is, like, I'm cutting certain things off, like especially marijuana. I'm just being totally transparent. Like, I'm cutting that shit off, like, for the whole year. Spirit already told me. And I think it's going to be a wrap for that. Why? Why? Why am I doing this? The reason I'm doing this is because through my meditations that I started on 12/21 and been ramping up these meditations during the winter solstice, right? That just passed. Spirit told me, yo, and it took me to a place to where did I start smoking weed? And this is me, right? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to pick it, put it down, right? Everybody has a different, you know, different path to wherever they got to go. But I've been getting these promptings for a long time. And the way I started smoking weed was not, during good times, right? I started smoking weed to escape trauma when I was younger, right? I didn't start smoking weed till I was about 16, right? So I started later than a lot of people. But my whole purpose to do it was to escape trauma, to escape anxiety, to escape shit that was going on in my household, right? And knowing that that is the source, right? I have to, and I've been doing it over and over. Now, I always will stop for a little while, stop for a couple months, come back on, stop for a couple months, come back on. But the challenge is, even when I lost my virginity, like I was smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was under the impression that I had to smoke weed to have sex, or I wouldn't be able to have sex correctly. So every time that I had sex, I was smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Every single time. I would not have sex if I didn't have weed around me. It felt whack. It felt weird, right? And I had to I appreciate that, Avatar. Yeah, so I had to assess. I had to assess, peace, dark magic, 828. I had to assess, like, what was the reason I'm smoking weed? What was the purpose? And what came to me in the meditation, because again, the strength is coming from within, right? You're sourcing the energy from within. And this is what the meditation is about. This is what the going in silence is about. This is what the being in nature is about. This is what uh you know, even some of the tools, right? All the tools that you use, the crystals, whatever, right? Whatever you're using are supposed to guide you back to the God in you, right? They're supposed to empower you to be powerful. They're supposed to empower you to be godlike. And guess what? When we talk about God, the creator, source, the universe, there is no hate. There is no uh, you know, this person is bad, this person is good, uh this person is weak, this person isn't weak, this person is an NPC, this person is not an NPC, right? And that's a level that you have to get to in your spiritual development. But it all starts with strength to see that, because guess what, there are people that the human don't like, right? We all have people that we don't like personally, right? But that person that we don't like personally has a story that they might have got fucked over in childhood, that they might have dealt with trauma, that they might be going through something, because hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. If you're not hurt, you don't want to hurt anybody. This is why you don't see people doing drive-bys and drills during the BET, not well, BET was different story. But this is why you don't see people doing drive-bys, or you don't hear about any violence, right, at the Black Enterprise Awards, right? You'll never hear about any violence at the Black Enterprise Awards, and there's still a whole bunch of black people in one space, right? But the BET Awards now is a different story. Both people have money, right? Both sides of those people have money. So the black people at the BET Awards got money, riches. The black people at the Black Enterprise Awards have money, riches, right? What's the difference? The difference is they have the people at the Black Enterprise Awards, they have a focus, right? They have an inner strength about them to where their focus, right, is not on the bullshit. Their focus is on their business. They're standing on business, right? That's the foundation. So the people that are coming to the BET Awards, right, they're not standing on business. They're standing on the fuckery. They want to stunt, right? They want to have fun. They want to be loose. They want to turn up, right? They want to get ratchet, right? All these things that, the rappers talk about. It. This is what a lot of people want to do at the BET Awards. So, and this is not to say one is better than the other, because a lot of those people at the Black Enterprise Awards are elitists and look down on people, which is not, spiritual, high level spiritual culture either, right? That's not an internal strength when you're looking down on somebody. When you're confident in who you are, you don't need to look down on anybody. When you're confident in who you are as a man, you don't need a woman's submission. When you're confident in who you are as a woman, you don't need to control a man. You don't need to watch him and go on his phone and see. You're confident. If he leaves, he leaves. If you're confident in a man, if she leaves, she leaves. You're God. You're a divine being. There's no need to bind anyone. There's no need to hex anyone. If they go, they go. God bless. I wish you the best. But I am internally powerful. And this is what we have to develop. I am internally powerful enough to create that reality that I want. So this is what 2024, and maybe some of these themes played out in your relationships and things like that, and really look at. And relationships are the direct mirrors of who you are. Like I said, when I came out of my fast on the 21st, being backed up for so many months, you know, I'm like, yo, let me just, let me have sex with somebody that I've met, and I met this chick on a dating site. I'm like, she was attractive and all that. Met her, cool, chill, whatever. But she had some demons, some real demons. Once I got, and it was a very brief, encounter, with her, because once I kind of dug deeper into her, I was like, yo, this is a psychopath. You know what I'm saying? But that energy rubbed off on me, because I was in a pure state, and I'm not blaming her. I got to only blame myself, and I believe that, and I felt like my vibrate. You know what I'm saying? I felt my. That's the only way I can really explain. Like I felt my vibration lower, right? So this year I learned a lesson, right? Can't go about it that way. We gotta Rob Blackstorm gotta find a queen. And we gotta, and if it takes the whole year, it takes the whole year, right? But it's gotta be a queen, right? And the queen has to, and let me not reveal too much, but let's just say the works are working, right? And that's not a thing. But it's very important, again, who you're with, what, and again, analyzing what you went through, and really see, do you have inner strength, right? If something happens, are you really looking within? Are you really tapping into source? Even just now, right? This is a perfect example, and we'll get into Capricorn after this. Right now, I had some technical difficulties before I came online with y'all. Right, the system was slow. My computer was acting up, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna do this tomorrow. But all day in my head, I was like, I'm gonna do this video today. I want to do this video today. But the computer was acting up, and I started getting upset, stressed. You know what I'm saying? Frustrated, and some my spirit, but a voice in my head, right, said, "Be at peace, be at peace, be at peace." So I calmed down, breathe in, breathed out, right, sat down, calmed down, and something said, "Reboot the computer." I'm like, "Reboot the computer." All right, we reboot the computer. Rebooted the computer. Boom. One, two, three. System was fixed, and here I am now, right? And this is literally all I needed to do was reboot the computer, right, and install some updates so that everything could go back in the way it is. But if not, if I would have stayed frustrated, I would have just been frustrated. I would have went to bed frustrated, right, and not been able to do the video. So this is inner strength is really peace of mind at the end of the day. And with 2025, the way things are going to happen and the changes that's going to happen, some of you guys have already seen what happened today with the whole or you may not know, where there was a Cybertruck that exploded in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas, right? So Elon Musk is going to be part of Trump's cabinet, so people are saying, it's a terrorist attack, this conspiracy theorists going crazy, salivating, licking their chops, ready to talk about, who did what did this, and who did that, and what they're going to do this, break it each detail down. Then there was another attack in New Orleans where a man ran through, there was people partying outside of New Orleans, and this man with an Islamic name, just happened to be his Islamic name, ran through and killed 15 people with his truck while people were partying for New Year's Eve on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So a lot of, again, conspiracy theorists are going crazy. But what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in your house? Right? Are you going to huddle up and shack up and stay in your house? You got to move. You got to get groceries. You got to travel. You got to do certain things. Got to pick up the kids. Got to take them someplace, right? You got to move. So, what's the best response? Is the response to be worried, or is the response to be as high vibrational as you can? So, no matter what happens, you're going to be all right. So, no matter what happens, you have the inner strength and resilience to make it no matter what change happens, no matter what transforms. And this is what 2024 was trying to teach us all, right? And coming into this Capricorn season, right, it's about using that strength and utilizing that strength for bigger and better things. And these bigger or better things are you becoming God. And becoming God, you got to purge. You got to purge. There are some things you're going to have to let go. There are going to be some new things you're going to have to implement. You're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to start some patterns. Or you conspiracy theorists, right? I raise my hand too. I'm into certain conspiracies, right? But the biggest conspiracy for me is me winning. The biggest conspiracy for you should be you winning in life, right? The conspiracy theorists, though, are wallowing in fear. A lot of them are fearful people. And I hate to say it because, you guys may see them and they're articulate, right? They speak very well. They know all the information, they know all the nuance, right? But they're very scared and nervous people. Just because you have information, it does not mean that you are a spiritual being, right? Anybody can learn, memorize, and repeat, right? It's really about who you are under adversity and your character when things are well, right? Those two things define who you are, right? How you treat people when they can't do anything for you, right? And how you handle adversity. Those are the two main things that determine your character. And if you're worried about what's going to happen next, what the government's going to do next, how can you focus on what you have to do? You have a limited amount of energy, right? That emotion, that lion in you, right, is energy, power, right? You're going to give your power away. You're going to give your power away to the system. You're going to give your power away to the matrix. You're going to give your power away to the cracker, the Ofe. You're going to give your power and your strength away to somebody else. baby mama, baby daddy, the chick that broke your heart, the guy that broke your heart, the men that broke your heart, the women that broke your heart. So many people that are so supposedly quote unquote part of spiritual culture, you know, there's a lot of these women that hate men, straight up misandrous, right? And are anti-man, and there's vice versa. There's men in spiritual culture that really hate women, right? And it's really a mask. It's really a mask. Peace, Mr. Rick Arcade. But the mask is masking trauma, is masking pain. You need to have a system in place, a life system, a daily system in place. And the winter season is the time when you develop that so it is in autopilot in your spirit once the spring comes. You want to spring to where you spring into action with whatever new business, new idea, new thought, new intention, right? New viewpoint. You want to do things outside of your comfort zone this month. That's very, very important. All right. Let's get into Capricorn season. So, Capricorn, right? It's a cardinal sign. Let me see. Let me blow this up. Can y'all see that, or y'all want me to blow it up? Let me know. Put a 7 in the chat if y'all want me to blow it up a little bigger. Or this is good. Put a 5 in the chat if you don't want me to blow it up, so I know. If I don't hear nothing, I'm gonna just leave it like this because I can see it. But if y'all can't, let me know. Okay. Thank you, Kat. All right. So Capricorn, right? Capricorn's an earth sign, it's a cardinal sign. All right. So cardinal signs are earth sign. That's we're on earth, right? That's self-explanatory. Cardinal sign, those cardinal signs set off seasons, right? So anytime you see a cardinal sign, they set the season off. So Capricorn sets off the winter season. The ruling planet is Saturn. All right, Saturn is where you get the motif of Satan. Also, Saturn relates to the Egyptian deity Set, which we'll get into. The symbol of Capricorn is the sea goat. So the sea goat, the symbolism, right? Signs and symbols always contain hidden messages, right? Always contain hidden messages. So the symbol of the sea goat is this goat that's coming out of, or the head of a goat that's coming out of the waters. So the waters also represent your emotion. It represents your emotional body. It represents your internal body. It represents your intuitive body. It represents your spiritual body. Okay. The spirit and the soul are two different things, right? The goat aspect is your soul's urge. Okay. So the sea is, or the waters, or the emotions, right? The intuitive body is spiritual body. But the goat is the soul's urge. And what is the soul's urge? The soul's urge is to complete whatever your destiny is. That is why you're here. Earth is not a prison planet. No matter how many people tell you about Yaldabaoth and the demiurge and all that, that's um, European mysticism, right? And the European mysticism has done nothing but enslave my people. So I use it, but you know, fuck them niggas, really. Fuck Madam Blavatsky, fuck John D, uh, fuck Aleister Crowley. You know what I'm saying? My ancestors did it way better, than them. But I'll still steal their shit because they stole our shit, right? And use it. But when we talk about the planet Earth, right? The planet Earth is a school. That's all it is, right? It's a school, it's a training ground. We're here for unlimited time. Some people are here for 100 years, some people are here for 50 years, some people are here for 2 years, some people are here for 1 year, some people are here for a couple of months, right? We all know people die. They come here to this planet and die at different times. The reason this happens is because there is a cycle to life, all right? There is a circle of life. You guys don't watch The Lion King. I ain't checked Mufasa yet. I'll get there, right? Probably with my daughter this weekend. But we're in a circle of life, right? So everything what goes around comes around, right? Things are circular. Even if you look at the planet Saturn, Saturn is a planet with rings, right? Circular rings. So Saturn represents like restriction, right? It represents things being how do you say contracted, right? It's not an expansive planet. It's a planet that it is what it is, right? It's like, you know, you gotta for instance, you gotta pee, right? When you gotta pee, you gotta pee, right? You ever been running to your door? We all have, right? Running to your door because you gotta pee and a little bit of dripping out and you you tap dancing and you running and you shake, because that pee, you don't want to pee on yourself, right? You can't, that's Saturn. You can't hold it. You can't stop it. It's a natural urge, all right? It is what it is. So Saturn is, it is what it is. So the positive of Saturns are, it's being conventional, scrupulous, perfectionist, right? Being fearless, elegant, a hard worker, good organizer, loyal, disciplined, dependable. All right. Also, some positive aspects of Saturn is you being ambitious. All right. You going for yours. What is going for yours? You're here to complete a destiny. You're destined to do something here. If you don't complete that destiny, you will continue to come back and learn those lessons, but not even come back. Because a lot of times in mysticism and occultism, people use the you coming back here as a form of like you going to hell, right? It's almost like the Christian church when the Christian church tells you, well, if you don't follow Jesus, you're going to go to hell and you're going to burn in the lake of fire. You coming back here is not you burning in the lake of fire, my brothers and sisters. You might want to come back here. You've been in the dream world. What did the great prophet Nas tell you? Sleep is the cousin of death. We've all been asleep. We've all been dreaming, right? Some of us have had lucid dreams where they feel real as hell. Some of us get attacked in our dreams by succubi, right? Where you come out of a dream and you got scars and things on your body that you didn't have in the dream, right? So dream world is similar to the world, the astral, or it is the astral world that exists once you pass on from the physical body. Okay, so that's the world that you in. It is almost one to one, right? That's the world that you're in. And even if you've done a high dose of any psychedelic mushrooms, or all right, it puts you in that sort of dream state, all right, between alpha and theta. So you're able to see the quote unquote paranormal. You're able to see the matrix. You're able to see the grid for what it is, right? That we are in. You're able to see this illusionary reality that we're in. All this is a school, but the school feels good. Okay, you like eating Popeye's chicken, nigga. All right, let's keep it real. You like having sex. You like having raw sex. All right, you like going and laughing, right, at some comedy. You like dressing nice, right? You like feeling good. You like in the summer when you take a nice dip in the pool and the water's just not too cold or not too warm, right? You like being on the beach on vacation, all right? You might love animals. There's a lot of beautiful things here on the planet, right? And if you are here on the planet with the intention of raising the vibration on the planet, then your experience on the planet is going to be better than someone who is just in survival mode, who's just trying to make it day by day, who doesn't have any knowledge of self, nor is trying to acquire any knowledge of self. Usually, what happens is these people are engaged in some sort of substance abuse, right? Or any sort of addictions. And that addiction doesn't always have to be substance abuse. The addiction could be an addiction to food. The addiction could be an addiction to shopping. The addiction could be an addiction to sex. The addiction could be addiction to watching TV. It could be an addiction to video games. It could be addiction to sports. It could be addiction to escapism, right? Talking to people, being distracted all the time, right? Watching a million people on YouTube and never doing a goddamn thing, just being entertained, just having information that you can share with your friends and say, look how smart I am, nigga. But that's not going to save you. What's going to be your salvation is you achieving whatever destiny you're here to do. So Capricorn is about you being ambitious towards whatever that destiny is. Only you know what that is. And there are tools for you to Learn what that is as far as your astrological chart, right? Learning what your chart is, learning what your numerology is, learning what the numerology of the year is. If I were you and you were me, but I am you and you are me because we are reflections of each other, I would tell you to check out Lloyd Strahan. Type in Lloyd Strahan on YouTube. Check out his numerology videos for the year. He usually has them about the year in full, and he has them for whatever your astrological sign is. So you kind of have an idea, right? This is going to give you a blueprint. Your birth chart is going to give you a blueprint, right? Do a reading. I'll show you how to do a reading by yourself, right? I might put some of the readers out of business, okay, with this one, but hey, we all got to grow and we all got to elevate, all right? Well, you're going to be able, after this video, you'll be able to do a reading, right? Do your own reading. And I've been working on this doing this for the last, doing readings pretty much every day since 12/21. Sometimes multiple readings during the day, all right? And then I'll get into that in detail. But you have to be responsible for yourself. This is one of the aspects of Capricorn, all right? Capricorn's all about responsibility, all right? I have a family member that's a Capricorn, the most responsible person in my family. All right. She's the one who takes care if something happens. She's the one who takes care of everything and she loves it. But she's also a workaholic as well. She also has some negative aspects where she could be very pessimistic. All right. Those are also aspects of Capricorn. All right. And it's about also you being patient, right? Things take time to unfold. A lot of times people rush and what they say is fools rush in. Okay. Relationships is a big one where people want to rush into a relationship with somebody because they don't want to be alone. And when they get into that relationship, they want to get married real quick. They want to move in real quick. And all it takes is some good sex, right? And that guy, that girl is the one for you. You didn't take a chance to get to know them. You haven't been through any challenges, right? Sometimes you don't even know if they got kids. You don't know their lifestyle, their background, because you haven't given it the time for all these things to unfold. This is what Capricorn is about. Good sex does not make a relationship, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to tell you. Good sex ain't enough. Good sex feels great. Good sex is a stress reliever. Good sex does draw you closer to the other person. It does. It makes you want the person more. It makes you want to be around the person more. It makes you want to do things for the person, right? You getting that good sloppy toppy, man. You know that credit card gonna go bling. It's gonna go. It's gonna go off, right? You want to do these things, right? But that doesn't mean that that person is the person for you. Doesn't mean that if you're sick, that person's gonna give you soup. Doesn't mean that if you're down, that person's gonna give you a nice word of advice and give you some laughter. Doesn't mean that that person is joyous. Doesn't mean that that person is peaceful, is going to bring peace into your life. It doesn't mean that that person should be around your fucking kids, right? You know how many times I've been with women and they want to bring me around their kids within the first 2 weeks of meeting them? I'm a man of a certain age, and I've been around a lot of women in my day. It's happened way too often. And I've always been a part, I've been a part of spiritual culture in some way, shape, form, or fashion since 1999, being in prison. Some of y'all weren't even born, but I've been dibbling, dabbling. I started with metaphysics, right? And started with metaphysics and, things like that, law of attraction, right? Those type of things, right? Before I got into esoteric spirituality, i.e. occultism, right? So I've always had a spiritual compass or a compass of knowing that what I do to someone else will affect me because that is a mirror of me. And this is also what Capricorn is about, right? Capricorn is understanding that the work you put in will be the work you put out. But it's not on your time, it's on divine time. It's on the time of your destiny. The reason you could do readings, ladies and gentlemen, you could do a reading, past, present, future, right? Popular tarot card reading, right? Past, present, future conclusion, right? The reason you could do that, and if you're with a reputable astrologer, right, that is on point, you'll be able to know what's going to happen in the future is because your destiny is already written. what did the Oracle tell Neo in the Matrix? The Oracle told Neo that in the second Matrix, the Oracle told Neo, right, that uh she offered him a cookie. This is when they were sitting on the bench. She offered him a cookie, and he said, "Well, you already something like you already know if I'm going to take the cookie or not. So why, excuse me, why are you offering it or something like that, right?" He said, "You already know I'm going to take the cookie or not." And she said, "Yes, but the key is for you to understand why you're taking the cookie, to understand why you are here. What is your purpose? Nothing, nothing, nothing is more important than your purpose here on the planet. Nothing is more important than you discovering and living your purpose on the planet. And whatever you have to sacrifice, and this is what I was going to say earlier, right? Yes, in the quote unquote elite mystical circles, right? Where they're doing nefarious things, Vatican, Bilderberg Group, the uh the people behind the scenes, right? Their mysticism that they're employing, they are obviously affecting people in a negative way with their mysticism. This is why mysticism is not even enough to save you. But the actual, well, I don't even know if I want to get into that. But yeah, let me not even get into that. But I say all this to say that you have to understand that coming into this is about you getting to your destiny. And that's it. And that's it. And understanding the cycles in your life, because things are going to continue to repeat over and over and over and over. And I've been around long enough to see like things in fashion repeat. Like I've seen acid wash jeans leave out of style, go back in style. I've seen Louis Vuitton go out of, believe it or not, Louis Vuitton. There's a time in the 90s when Louis Vuitton was not in style. Believe it or not, right? It wasn't a big deal. But now Louis Vuitton is back in style, right? Heavily in style. Okay. People aren't wearing acid wash anymore, but 2018, 2017, acid wash was back in style. Okay. So things go in cycles, things repeat themselves. This is in your natural world. You, with your emotional power, you being God, can rise up above these cycles and create your own cycle. This is when you implement new things into the world, right? But you can't worry about what someone else is going to do to you or what someone else is trying to do. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And if things change, you change, right? The negative aspects of Capricorn is you being stubborn, all right? You not wanting to change, you seeing the cycles and still letting them repeat. It's also you being uh pessimistic, right? You thinking that the world is against you and everybody's against you, and I was a very very pessimistic person, very very pessimistic, very very much like this things aren't going to work out for me. um how am I going to get there? What am I going to do? Right, these are things that happen over time. When things don't go the way you want, you could get disillusioned, right? When you're in survival mode, you don't have a certain amount of money, right? You don't live where you want to live, right? You are not eating what you want to eat, right? You're not traveling, these things that come with currency sometimes, and having money, or not even having money, or you might have the money but you just don't have the relationship that you want, right? You're not around the people that you want to be around, right? You got frenemies, people that you don't like, but shit, I don't have nobody else. I don't want to be alone, so I'm gonna hang with this frenemy, which is crazy to me. I've never been a frenemy person, but I know there's people that are like that, right? And also being a workaholic, right? This is a negative aspect of Capricorn. Just overworking yourself, right? Which is a form of addiction, which is a form of escapism, which is a form of not facing yourself, right? Which is a form of not diving into yourself and doing the spiritual work. being very critical, right, and judgmental of people, right? I'm not with the like calling people NPCs. I'm not with the because guess what? Malcolm Little, aka El Haj Malik Shabazz, aka Malcolm X, was once an NPC. He was a non-playable character. I was an NPC. You were an NPC, right? There's people that, and this is why I don't even ascribe to the whole chosen ones, because there be, 20 or 30, 40, 50,000 people on watching one video about chosen ones, and I damn sure know they ain't all chosen ones. So to be a chosen one, you just got to choose yourself. But that doesn't make you special. That doesn't make you better. That doesn't make you greater. Then it doesn't make you more powerful, because everyone here on the planet is a reflection of you. Everything comes from source. The slave master comes from source. Trump comes from source. Elon Musk comes from source. Kamala Harris comes from source. Your mama, your daddy, the person that broke your heart, the person that tore your heart apart, had you crying for days, weeping, boo-hooing, eating all the ice cream in the fridge. They're part of source. The person that gets on your nerves at work is part of source. The wars, the violence, what happens to kids, right? R-wording, molestation, all that stuff is part of source. If it wasn't part of source, it would not exist. But it's all lesson oriented, right? It's not to be taken personally. It's not to be taken at heart. These are cycles of lessons. Capricorn is ultimately the great teacher, right? This is why the internal self rises, right? This is why the internal frequency rises. And it's the sea goat, because the sea goat is the spiritual self, right? Guiding the external self. It's the representative of that fish energy or that internal energy or that spiritual energy, not the emotion, but the spirit, right? Or the emotion of spirit, right? The motion of spirit, right? But being guided, right? Being guided, being focused. Okay. The goat head, focused on being the greatest of this time or the greatest of all time. Your impact on the world now makes you the greatest of all time, because you're going to leave this planet one day and people are going to remember you. They're going to think about you. They're going to talk about you. Back in the days, they would say they would sing songs in your name. Okay? We remember Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Hamer, right? Harriet Tubman, et cetera, right? Brother Panic recently, right? We remember these people fondly. And we will always remember them until we leave the planet. Why? Because of the impact that they had upon us, whether you agree with everything or didn't agree with everything, right? And it's never about agreeing everything 100% with anyone anyway. Okay? That is you being stubborn and you just not thinking for yourself and not wanting to think for yourself. You have a church like mindset, right? You should not listen 100% to anybody, including me, right? We all have our individual path, and you have to figure out what works for you. And what cycles do you continue to see coming round and round, round we go, right? And if you don't identify those cycles, you know what I'm saying? You're going to keep repeating them. So this month, don't go crazy trying to implement everything at once. No, take your time, right? Establish some sort of structure to your life. What are you going to do, right? Or when are you gonna implement some meditation in your life, my nigga? Like how many years are you gonna wait before you start to really meditate? Or you're just gonna continue to read books and gather information? Do you think one day, and ain't nobody read, well, some people, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Michael Bell and Adika Butler. Shout out to them, you know what I'm saying? But I read a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's people who read more than me, but I've read a lot, right? A lot. So a lot of mantras, discovered a lot of secrets, right? And even with the reading and the studying and the book knowledge, right? To know truth, you have to live it. This is an Egyptian proverb. To know, this is what under Ma'at, right? To know truth is to live truth. It's to go through the cycles of your day-to-day life. When shit hits the fan, Are you still a fan? Word to Kendrick, right? When shit hits the fan, are you still a fan of spirit, right? Or do you run into fear? And the only way you are able to escape fear is to tap into spirit. And you have to program to spirit to be fearless. It's not going to happen from a book. It's not going to happen from a class. It's not going to happen from a course. It's not going to happen from a discussion. It's not going to happen from following your favorite influencer or spiritual teacher. It's going to happen when shit hits the fan. When shit hits the fan, is the first thing you say is, I'm going to get through this with the help of my ancestors, my spirit guides, my spirit team, and the ancestors that live in my so-called junk DNA that I unlock for my soul's purpose. And this is how you break the circle of Saturn, of Satan, right? And this is how you tap into your destiny. So let's just get into. So Capricorn also deals with the devil. All right. The devil tarot card is a correspondence to Saturn. Now, people see this devil tarot card, and think the worst, right? We've been conditioned to think that the devil is some entity outside of us that, God created. God created the devil, and the devil rebelled against God, and the devil was sent down to earth, right? And the devil is just here tempting us all, and we fight the devil, and when we die, we'll go to heaven, and there's no more devil, and we'll just be peaceful and happy and blissful, blah, blah, blah. But it's only if you believe in Jesus and only if you follow the Bible. That's the that's the key, right? And only if you demonize everybody else's religion. Everybody else's religion has to be bad in Christianity because everybody else is following the devil. But if you follow Jesus, you're following God, right? And that's it. But everybody else is demonic. I never liked that about Christianity, even as a kid, right? But we've been mistaught, we've been miseducated on what the devil really is. What the devil really is when our emotions rule our consciousness. Over time, when your emotions rule your consciousness, this is when trauma, right? Pain, fear, hurt, insecurity, laziness, right? When these things start to infiltrate your body, right? Or control your body. For instance, right? Remember smoking cigarettes, right? Cigarettes had a hold on me, right? Very hard to stop, right? That is the devil. Okay? That is the devil. If it's controlling you and you can't stop it when you want, if you can't say, look, tomorrow I'm waking up, I ain't smoking no cigarettes. Tomorrow I'm waking up, I ain't smoking no weed. Tomorrow I'm waking up, I ain't doing no drinking. Tomorrow I ain't popping no pills. If you can't control it like that, that it controls you. If you can't wake up tomorrow saying I ain't jerking off no more, it's controlling you. And what else can you say about it, right? You can't say, "Oh, it's just my choice." No, it's not your choice. Your free will is no longer free. Your free will is just like these two people. You see, the man on the right represents your logic, reasoning, critical thinking, right? That logic, reasoning, critical thinking is inflamed by your animal passions. This is why this devil card looks like an animal. This is why it corresponds to Saturn, right? Because Saturn is the earth. Saturn is you being tethered to the earth to learn cyclical lessons, the rings of Saturn, that keep going over and over and over and over again. And most people can't see the patterns because they're so busy focusing on gossip. They're so busy focusing on what the government's doing. They're so busy focused on conspiracy. They're so busy focused on celebrity. They're so busy focused on whatever else but their purpose. And we're engineered here, especially in the West, to focus on our material lust, to focus on matter, right? To focus on what the body wants, right? Body positivity. Eat what you want. Be as big as you want, right? Gluttony, right? Who cares? Nobody could judge me. Slut shaming. Sleep with who you want. Sleep with how many people you want. However you want, right? This is what's being encouraged, right? Engaging in simply the animal body, the lust of of the lust of and the desires of the animal body. We've been taught to think, as my man Kesbrid Brown says, from the neck down. We've been taught to value beauty from the neck down. Most of our beauty aesthetic is glamour magic, makeup, muscles, money, bodies, BBLs, all these things. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, whatever you want to do to enhance your looks, right? But what I'm saying is the true beauty is within. The true beauty is love. The true beauty is if I could talk to you and you could give me some good advice. The true beauty is if you could give me a hug when I'm sad. The true beauty is if I could trust you and leave my wild around you. True beauty is if I could leave my children around you and know that they're safe and sound. The true beauty is if I could leave my door open, right, and know you're not going to rob me. That's love. And we know what love is because the minute somebody gives you some money, right, and they don't ask for it back, we say, oh man, that person was showing me love. When somebody gives you something, they like, yo, don't worry about it, keep it. Oh, that person was showing me love. So we know what love really is inherently. So the man and so the female on the side, right? You see, she has looks like grapes. The book says pomegranate, so we'll go with pomegranate. But it has pomegranate. But I like it looks like grapes to me, so I'm gonna say grapes. So she has grapes growing out of her tail, while the male has fire. Well, the fire is again the external aspect, the driving force, which is the animal body, right? Which is the body, the physical body, and the earth plane, which represents Capricorn, which represents you being here. And the female represents the internal body, the spiritual body, nurturing, right? Because you got to fuel the fire some way, right? This is why you see the devil's hand, right, as above over the woman, right? And his right hand as below with the fire on the male, right? Because this is the fire is the driving force, right? The masculine energy is external, it's out, it's outgoing, right? Feminine energy is internal, it's ingoing, going within. But you got to feed it, right? So the news feeds the devil in you. This person got shot. This person got R-worded. This person got molested. This person got essayed. This person going through a fire. This person had, and this is all violence within, or and even world violence, right? Constantly feeding you things to keep you in fear, to keep you trapped in the body, to keep you trapped in the root chakra, to keep you rooted to the planet, to keep you trapped in the eternal cycles of coming back and reincarnating over and over and over and over and over and again until you get it right. But that has to be nurtured. Okay. So, and also, if you look at this devil card, like he kind of looks silly, right? Like he looks like a toy, kind of like funny. You know what I'm saying? So this also represents the joy that you have to have here on Earth. Okay, the laughter, if you will, to overcome. If you look at these chains on them, right, you could see that like they could easily lift these chains off of their neck, no problem, right? They could easily unloose themselves, but they don't want to, right? They willingly being chained to their animal body because why? Physical sensations feel good. And one of the big aspects of spiritual work is learning to ignore your spiritual sensations, right? Again, the strength card, which we discussed earlier, is the Sphinx, right? Head of a woman, body of a lion, right? If you look at the devil card, right, and you'll see these horns, right? Sagittarian goat head, right? Is what is your goat, right? What is the greatest of all time, which is what Saturn represents, time in you? What will you be remembered for? In Kemetic theology or Kemetic theology or the Egyptian theology, the whole goal is to go and not return to the planet as a regular human, but to return to the planet as a divine being or a divine seed, or what you call an indigo child or a star seed, to help gather others, right, to become part of the highest, not only the highest versions of themselves here, but the highest versions of themselves in source, and to go on to the next leg of experiences, right? To where you're not tethered to this physical body and these physical infirmities, if you will. So the chain is weak, and this cube right there on the bottom, it just represents the cube of Saturn. Again, you being tethered to the earth, material wants, material wishes, and things like that. And if you don't tame this devil within you, right, the devil has wings. It's going to fly. It's going to ascend. That's going to be your dominant trait. And you see this in humanity, right? Their whole life is money, holes, and clothes, right? Money, holes, and clothes. We've been programmed with these ideas, right? Either you're selling crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. We've been selling these things as told these things as ideals, right? Get money, fuck everybody, get money, right? We've been taught these ideals, right? To be cutthroat, to be on demon time, to be savages, right? All these things are associated with the devil card, but I ain't never see no devil in nature. I ain't never see a sheep be evil. I ain't never see a dog, right? That's just an evil dog. You know what I'm saying? These things don't happen in nature. An elephant, you're not going to see an evil elephant. You know what I'm saying? These things don't happen in nature. The devil, the only place you can see the devil is in man. The only way you see the devil is in humanity. That's it. Humans could be the devil, the evil here on the planet. And humans are the devil or the evil here on the planet because they are only human. They're worried about strictly things that you can't take here in this world. All this money that we acquire, all these material things that we have, yeah, they're great. They keep us comfortable here on the planet. They look good. Their aesthetic is nice. But at the end of the day, all the money you have, you're going to leave it to somebody. All the material things, you're going to leave it to somebody if you leave here today. Or over time, it's just going to expire. It's going to rot, right? It's going to go ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So this is what Capricorn represents. It represents you again being tethered to the planet and tethered to the planet Earth and the desires strictly of the Earth. And we have to understand that we have to rise above this. If you look at the star, some people teach, people teach how they want to teach, but from my understanding, right, this upside down star is again you being here on the planet. The right side star is you ascending, right? It's man, arms out, legs out, head up, right? In the star pose. It reversed, right? Is the head is down, right? The head is down to the root chakra. The head is down to the earth. And let me tell you this: what I got from meditation, the root chakra is not where we're taught the root chakra is. The root chakra is after the feet. It's actually the bottom of the soles of the feet, to be exact. Those are the root chakras, the soles of the feet. The sacral chakra is where your sexual and sensual organs are. And if you think about it, it just makes more sense, right? So be careful what you're rooted in, right? And really look at that. Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing, right? What are you investing your knowledge in books, your knowledge in the course, your knowledge and wisdom in? Is it really to achieve what you're here to achieve? And not just achieve as far as a career aspiration, not just achieve what you want to achieve materially, not just to have a successful business or a successful relationship or a big house, car, and a dog. And all those things are nice, but all those things come with spiritual power automatically. All those things come with knowledge of self automatically and self awareness. All those things come with a divine walk in righteousness, right? All those things come part of the package. They come with it, and you're happy with it. You're at peace. You're in joy with it. When things happen, when you lose those things, you're not rattled. You're at peace. Okay, this fell apart. All right. Well, this is a challenge. What are you trying to show me, spirit, with this challenge? What are you trying to show me with this devil? Right? This devilish energy. What are you trying to show me? What are you trying to raise up in me? Right? That I have to let go. See, this chain is you not letting go to things that you need to let go. The elites do sacrifices. Yes, they do sacrifices of people in order to achieve, uh, you know, things here on the planet, right? In order to achieve power, in order to achieve control, yes, they sacrifice people. That's a fact, right? People get sacrificed, right? Just like the same way where, a mystic might sacrifice a chicken in order to achieve an outcome here on the planet, right? Whether it's affecting someone or having some sort of control, right? And Capricorn, the key word of Capricorn, which relates to the devil card, is I control. I control. So if you aren't in control of yourself, then yes, you have the devil in you. And it's not out there. It's nothing you could pray about. It's something you got to walk out. It's something you got to go through the cycles out. It's something you got to recognize the cycles of. This is why journaling is so important. This is why meditation is so important. This is why working with these equinoxes, solstices, and new and full moons are important, because these are markers that help you transform and transition out of the cycle and circle of time into the circle of the infinity, which is what the strength card that we discussed earlier represents, you tapping into infinity. And you got to have fun too while you're here. Don't take this shit so serious, right? The planet, that's why this guy looks like, look at the face of this devil, right? Zoom in if you need to. This is a silly looking character, right? This is nothing. I mean, the church, growing up Jehovah's Witness, we are taught so much to fear the devil, so much to be scared of the devil, right? That the devil became God. The devil became the higher power. Somebody said, "Oh, I like questions. Thank you for the question." Said, "Do you believe somebody could pull at your energy through black magic?" Yes. So there's a movie that recently came out called how do you pronounce it? I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Nosferatu, right? There's a movie that recently came out. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up. One of my favorite directors. Last name is Eggers. But it was a movie about just what you're talking about, and it's a very Saturnian movie, right? Nosferatu, right? Great question, by the way. So this particular movie is about energy, or your energy being pulled through black magic. In the beginning of the movie, the character, which represents the divine self, is stressed out. They're crying, they're worried, they don't, she has spiritual ability, nobody understands her, she feels lonely, right? But a person who does understand her, and it's also a metaphor for how the government uses people as utilities, right? Or human resources, so to speak. It's also a story on how, the black magician seduce you through your sadness, through your disillusionment, through your longing, right? But the black magic part is, yes, to answer your question directly, yes, somebody could pull at your energy through black magic. But what is really black magic? Because we call ourselves black people, right? We call ourselves black people. That's what it black Americans, right? Foundational black Americans, right? So black is in our name. This is one of the reasons why I kind of reject it, but I'm using it this year because I know that's what y'all fuck with. But in my mind, I'm a god. I'm not a black person, right? But black black magic, right? For the sake of the argument, black magic is when you have a low vibration, when you are stuck in your devil, right? When you are caught up in the human body, when you think the beauty is only physical beauty, when you think that the strength is only in thuggism, it's only in violence, it's only in putting other people down, and it's only in manipulation, it's only in being grimy. When you think that's really strength, yelling, right? Being ultra aggressive. When you're caught up in these lusts, these addictions that you can't break, right? You're in your devil. You're tethered to your devil. So yeah, you can be pulled. Yeah, you could be manipulated. Yeah, you could be broken down. Yeah, somebody could cast a spell and pull at you with using black magic. is similar to Nosferatu, which means vampire, sucking at your, pulling at your blood. And that's what he was doing the whole movie, right? I'm not going to get into the specifics of decoding it right now, but that's what he was doing. He kept pulling at, once he got a hold of the husband, right? He was able to pull at the wife, which is who he wanted anyway, right? But anyway, and the wife just represents higher spiritual power, right? And the marriage of you taking your dark side, right, and melding these things together to become one. And once you realize that there is no real dark side, right, that there's no real bad, everything is a lesson. So if you think there is bad, or if you think that there is really evil and you don't understand, another Egyptian proverb is, do not look at the effect, but look at the cause, right? So imagine if people focused on the cause of why Diddy was the way he was, why Bill Cosby was the way he was, why, um, the why, even why the popes and these people are the way they are. Because again, only hurt people, you know, the Carnegies, the Bilderberg groups, the Rothschilds, these people that run the world and have, people going through all sorts of problems. The people who run the treasury, right? The people who run the government, the shadow government, not the government we see, but the hidden hand behind the government, right? The unseen hand. Those people are hurt people. And hurt people hurt people. They want power, they want control. But you're only, even them, they're only going to be here for a limited time. And they're going to come back in another form. And next time they may be rich in this lifetime, the next lifetime, they come back as a poor black kid in the middle of Nairobi who has no lights, no water, right? So that they had, and it's not to punish. This is what we're taught in Christianity. It's not to punish, it's to learn the lesson. It's to understand the why that you are eating the cookie again. Why you want to live this lifestyle, because it gives you empathy, it opens up the heart chakra, it connects you now to all people, where maybe if you were in this world and you were born, you know let's say I.e. a Baron Trump, right, and you already were born into riches, you don't have any empathy for poor people. You don't even know what that's like. You don't know what it's like to be in the projects. You don't know what it's like to be in the pissy hallway. You don't know what it's like to be hungry and not have food in the fridge. You don't know what it's like to be trapped in you got chefs and nannies and all that. You don't understand it. So you see these people as lazy. That's how a lot of rich people, and you see that now with the Republican conversation with Vivek and Elon, right, where they're coming out and calling Americans lazy, right? Vivek Ramaswamy, where he was like, Americans, like, we need to, more Steve Urkels, and less Slaters from Boys in the Hood. We need more, what he said, I forgot the nerdy dude from Saved by the Bell. Screech, right? We need more screeches and less, basically we need less chilling and less cool, right? And more education. This is an elitist mindset. This is a mindset that does not connect. How are you going to say this about people when the educational system is fucked up? When they're putting things in our food and our water and our air deliberately to set people off track and put them in their lower self so they're not able to achieve the highest level of themselves, right? Do you know how hard it is for somebody who has to survive, work 1 and 2 jobs, and leave their kids, and then you're going to say, oh, these people are supposed to be geniuses? No. Mm-mm. It don't work like that. Or these people are supposed to be these hardworking, enterprising people. No, mama got to work 2 jobs. She may not have time to nurture the kid. She may not have time to take the child to the science fair or these coding classes, right? She may not have the time. Daddy may not have the time. You got to take care of the family, right? Economics play a role in how people develop socially and how people develop spiritually as well. Because when you're stuck in your root chakra, you're stuck in survival. And it's very hard to think about anything else when you are hungry. It's very hard to think about anything else when you don't have. It's very hard to think of anything else when you aren't secure in yourself. And these things put you in a terrestrial, matter based mindset. Poverty will make you do things that you never thought you would do. Poverty will make you chase things that you never thought you would chase and act ways you never thought you would act. This is why on the Kabbalah, the last sphere or the last Sephiroth on the Kabbalah, right? And we're dealing with what is it? So yes, Kether, right? No, Malkut, sorry. When you're dealing with Malkut, you're dealing with the earth plane, and that's why it's at the bottom, because you got to eat, right? You got to have food, clothing, and shelter. Those things are necessary, right? For your spiritual growth. Those are things you have to handle, right? Those are Saturnian things, work, right? Being disciplined, going to work every day, right? Whether it's a 9 to 5 or you have your own business, you gotta make money, right? You gotta get food, whether it's from the grocery store or you have a farm or you're planting your own food, right? These are things that are needed. You need resources, you need currency, you need to exchange things. But on the Kabbalah, it's the bottom of the tree, because when it comes to spiritual development, your electromagnetic energy will start to attract all these things to you the more that you control your body and the more that you control your urges, and the less you allow or and the less you allow them to control you, the less you allow fear to control you, the less that you allow insecurity to control you, right? If they leave, let them go. The black magic is you feeling like you gotta have them. That's possession. Binding is possession. Spiritual binding is putting somebody in slavery. That's black magic, like a motherfucker. That's this like a motherfucker, right? And people will justify it and they'll say, oh, there's no good and bad, right? That's a misuse of the teaching, beloved. There's no good and bad, right? So why not bind? You know what I'm saying? Why not? After all, after all, right? I want them. I want to keep them. I want to make sure that they're always with me. But would you want that done to you? So you say there's no good and bad, but you wouldn't want somebody to bind your ass that you don't want no more. Because everyone is that's how you understand what is good or bad on the there's a subjective and objective reality. The objective reality is, right, that there is no good and bad. Everything is a lesson. That's the objective. That's the objective reality, right? But the subjective reality is that you know what's good and bad. Okay. That is your moral compass, right? Or your spiritual laws. Laws. These are spiritual laws. These are things that are not broken. The sun is going to shine regardless of whether you're happy or sad. It's going to rain regardless of whether you're happy or sad. Winter is coming. Whether you're happy or sad, spring will be here. Whether you're happy or sad, or even on the planet, right? These things are not changing for you. These things are not changing for you. So you have to put yourself in a position to where you understand how you want to be treated is how others will treat you. And the energy that you treat people, even so-called your enemies, right? And it's not saying that you allow people to run over you or you allow people to treat you badly or you allow people to abuse you. No, this is about you. If they're abusing you or they're treating you badly, of course, get away from them, right? If somebody's attacking you, of course, defend themselves. Why? Because you would want, right? If they're a reflection of you, you would want to defend. You want to defend yourself. You would want to defend yourself, right? Or you would want them to defend themselves if it was the other way around, right? Or you would want to get away. You know what you get what I'm saying, right? Everyone is a reflection of you. So your spiritual culture is what protects you, because you're able to see through the illusionary bullshit of the planet and look for the higher or the highest or the most high in that person. Even if somebody is your enemy, that enemy could be used to propel you. Do you know there's some people that's in this incarnation strictly to pay you? There's some people in this incarnation to pay you. There's some people in this incarnation for you to have a job. There's some people in this incarnation for you to, have sex with and break up with. There's some people in this incarnation to give you a hard time. There's some people in this incarnation to make you worry, to make you sad, to make you fearful. But it's up to you to accept the program. It's up to you to fall victim to the program. Just because you are in a dangerous situation or around dangerous people, it does not mean that you yourself have to fall victim to whatever danger is out there. It's really your vibration that you carry, and those dangerous people will respect you. They will protect you. They might be terrorizing everybody else, but that you come around, nah, not him. He cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I see him out. He be talking to the kids. He ain't that type of person. You know what I'm saying? I see him, man. He be with his old lady, man. He don't even be out like in a mix like that. You know what I'm saying? I see her. Nah, she leave her alone, man. She cool, man. She don't be bothering nobody. You know what I'm saying? In fact, she saw me outside and I was going through something, and she said, good morning, and that should brighten up my day. You don't know. Quick story. I was going to get some food, right? And I was, going through something. Actually I was thinking about quitting YouTube, to be honest. And I was going through something, right? But I was thinking about other things too. And I went to the store, ordered my food, and I'm pondering or whatever. And the lady, she was there. She said, "How you doing?" This is New York City. People don't say how you doing. This ain't no good morning type of town. You know what I'm saying? You do your transaction, you keep it moving. But she was like, "How you doing?" And it took me aback, right? Because I ordered my food. I expect to pick up my phone and wait for the food, right? And start doom scrolling until, I get my food. I said, "How you doing?" And that "how you doing" changed my day. And we ended up having a nice conversation around how you doing and talking and exchanging some jokes, and it really lifted my vibration and my frequency. That's the God in her that I probably gave to somebody else maybe 5 years ago or whatever. And that energy, Saturnian, right, is just coming back to me when I need it the most, when I needed it the most. And it literally just her saying, "How you doing?" brightened my whole day. That's the God in her. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of, whether she studies and, she's into like spiritual culture or anything like that, that is the God in her. So Saturn is a holding pattern. All right. But Saturn is also, and there's a cube on top of Saturn, or a hexagon, right? On top of Saturn itself. And that represents you being trapped in the box. Okay. In this box, in this illusionary box of the world, right? Which, if you look at the metaphor of Christianity, is ran by the devil, not some physical devil outside, but your human lust, your human emotions. This planet is a planet of death. It's a planet of destruction. It's a planet of cycles. It's a planet of death and rebirth, right? Every animal's out here trying to kill you. If you didn't have a home, you know what I'm saying? If you lived in certain environments, like a lot of us did back in the day, you'd have to fight off animals, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to fight off insects. Sometimes we got rats and mice coming in the house, right? Roaches and shit like that, right? Hopefully not. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I remember, let me not say that. Let me not say who it was, but I remember when I was younger, man, I woke up, my mom's a very clean person. And I remember, and she didn't really let us go out a lot. And I remember we went to somebody else's house one time, and and when we came to their house, and there was so many roaches, saying, my mom's like, come on, let's go. And she told the person, the lady, she was like, I gotta use the bathroom. We literally just came there to like chill and do something like after the Kingdom Hall or whatever. My mom should over witness. And I remember just coming in there seeing all those roaches. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what I'm saying? Not really being a kid around a lot of roaches, right? So anyway, again, things you got to earth, right? The roaches are trying to eat that lady out of house and home. You know what I'm saying? So everything's trying to get you. Everything has this kind of life and death thing about it because you're not supposed to be here long. You're supposed to live your destiny and then depart. Okay. So one of the things is, and that breaks you out that pattern, that hexagonal cube. It breaks you out of the box. It breaks you out of the hex of humanity, the hex of being human, the hex of being trapped in this physical being and having to constantly fight this urges and constantly grow. You know what I'm saying? There comes a point where you are supposed to receive self mastery. And that self mastery is you mastering your emotions, it is you mastering your animal urges. And another deity that corresponds to Capricorn and the devil card is Set. Okay. Set's problem was Set was jealous of according to the story, Set was jealous of Osiris or Ser, right? And his prosperity and what he was doing to the planet. Set wanted to be the man, right? So Set tricked, right? Tricked Osir into going into a coffin by saying he wanted to see how that coffin fit him, right? And it was it says Set threw a party, right, for Osir in celebration of him. And what he did was he tricks again Osir into going inside of a coffin to see if he could fit and shut the coffin and then threw it in the water, right? That's according to the story. And what that represents is, you feeling like the material things of the world, the money, the clothes, the hoes, the beauty, the muscles, the materialism, all these things are more important than your divine mission here on earth. The party is an illusion. The celebration of life here is really illusionary. Now, it doesn't mean you're not supposed to be peaceful and joyful while you're here and have fun while you're here. But this world is Maya, right? It's all an illusion, right? And all the things of it is an illusion. And you being set, right? Remember, Capricorn is stubbornness, right? So when you're set, right, you're immovable. You don't change, you don't transform. This is why you see people who age but are still old fools, because time does not give you wisdom. Becoming older does not necessarily mean that you're wise. There's tons of old fools out there. What makes you wise is your experiences, how many experiences you have, and how you've grown through those experiences, the lessons learned from those experiences. Those are the things that make you wise. And if those lessons make you greater, and not a greater human, but a greater God, who is more loving, one who's more kind, one who's more compassionate, but also one who is strong, one who is able to defend themselves, one who is able to go to war when they need to, but most importantly, go to war with themselves so they know how to win the war against someone else. One who knows how to go to war with their emotions so that the only two emotions, the dominant emotions that a God or a divine being should have is peace and joy. Peace and joy. Shit hits the fan, okay. I got an ancestral spirit team. All right, this is things that we say. I'm a nine ether being. I'm a God. I'm an ancestral spiritual being, right? So why are you worried about what the government's going to do? Why are you worried about what the aliens going to do? Why are you worried about what the drones are going to do? Why are you worried about who started hip hop or not? Nigga, this world is for the animals. This is what Set is about too. Set has an animal head, right? This world is for the animals. This world is for the animals. It's your job to transcend the animal. It's your job to transcend the animal nature in you and master it. Not to where, You don't use your emotions and you're emotionless. No, your spirit is essentially unconditioned. There is no father to your style, right? God has no emotion. God has no emotion. I'm going to say that again. God has no emotion. Your spirit carries emotion, right? But your soul is emotionless. When you close your eyes and go to bed, right, there's darkness. That darkness is the source of everything. But that darkness that's the source of everything, right? That dark matter, it doesn't move, it doesn't change, it doesn't feel. It just is. It just brings things forth. It just brings things out of it. And the things that come out of it are spiritual. But the soul, there's no movement, there's no motion, there's no emotion. The soul is in control. You are the soul controller. And that's the difference between the soul and the spirit. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this. They think when they're talking about spiritual, they're talking about their emotions. If you don't feel it, you're not going to do it. No, you could feel it. Cigarettes, right? You cigarettes. Sometimes when you're trying to fight cigarettes, right, the urge will come. 12/21, I said, okay, 12/21, I'm going through the winter solstice. I'm going to stop smoking weed. I was just smoking a gang of weed before that, right? A gang of weed. I said, all right, winter solstice, I'm going to stop. Do you know I've been fighting the urge to smoke weed every day? Yesterday, very much so. New Year's Eve, right? Who don't want to smoke a spliff New Year's Eve? Again, I'm not saying for what you to do. I'm saying for me and my journey, right? Your thing might be alcohol, your thing might be whatever, right? Talking about me and my journey. And I said, the urge came. My sole purpose is to maximize my psychic abilities, right? That I already have. In order for me to maximize it, I got to put the weed down. That's me, right? So I can't rely on my emotions. I got to rely on my mission. My mission is more important than my emotions. My mission is more important than my feelings. Your mission is more important than your emotions. Your mission is more important than your feelings. Your feelings are what have you tethered to the earth. Your feelings are what have you scared to death, scared to look, shook. Talking about you spiritual. Most of your heroes have been to prison. Malcolm went to prison. Martin went to prison, right? H. Rap Brown, Truck Turner, right? The Panthers. They've been through some shit in order to, George Jackson. They've been through some things in order to give you wisdom, in order to leave a legacy, in order for me to say their names when they're no longer here 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. They went through some shit. But guess what? Their soul's purpose was more important than their emotions. And your soul, what your soul is craving for, the only thing your soul is craving for is to come back to mama. It's to come back to source. It's to come back to the primordial energy of the universe. But you got to master here first. You got to conquer your demons here first. You got to conquer what you're set in doing and what you won't change. I got a friend recently that I have to fall back from, that I realigned with, and I realized I have to fall back from. Because I realized since I've known them, they've never changed. The behavior is still the same. I think they're growing, but it's bullshit. They're not growing because quickly, when you're in spiritual culture, the universe spirit, your ancestors are going to show you quick and fast who people are. That's your spiritual protection. The best spiritual protection is a high vibrational body. The best spiritual protection is a high vibrational consciousness. And the more you do this, the more you hear the voice of God that is within you. This is called your conscience, right? And Egyptians have something they call the Ka. which is similar to the physical body, but more so the projection of you here, your self image, so to speak. But your conscious is when your ancestors talk to you, when you hear the voice saying, yeah, I got this urge to smoke, or I got this urge to eat, or I got this urge to have sex with this person, or I got this urge to go this place, or I got this urge to do this, or I got this urge to, man, let me just, you know what I'm saying? Man, fuck them. Let me just, you know what I'm saying? Take that, you know, you know, they gave me a little extra money. I know I'm supposed to give it back, but fuck that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna miss it. I know that's my homegirl, my homeboy's wife, but you know what I'm saying? What they don't know ain't gonna hurt them. Oh, I know that's her man, but shit, he treat her nice, but she don't deserve him. Nah, girl, she don't deserve him. I'm gonna get that nigga. Watch. Wait till, wait till, wait till she go to the store, right? I'm gonna pull up on him. I'm gonna see what it's about. And you have to ask yourself, those of you who are like, fuck that, are these things that you want to happen to you? And just because they happen to you, are you perpetuating now what you didn't want to be or what you didn't want to happen to you? This is the animal body because this shit is transitory. All this shit is transitory. You're here for what, 100 years, 120 max? And that's on a good day? That's on a good years, right? For somebody. They're saying this generation is gonna live less or have less time here on the planet based on the, you know, all the food and, you know, the chemtrails and the parabens and the PCBs and the microplastics in the water and, you know, all this stuff, right? Even the organic food, all the stuff they put in the organic, quote unquote, organic food, right? That they're not going to live as long as Generation X, Generation Z, right? And Generation Alpha, Generation Beta is going to live even shorter times, even with all this technology, even with all these doctors. Because why? They don't want you to unlock your soul and your soul's destiny. They want you to be set and stuck in the animal body, neck down thinking, ratchetry, baddies, money above it all. That's why the greatest spell ever concocted, right? By these mystics, these so-called dark mystics, is them, right? The greatest spell concocted is them uh putting "In God We Trust" on the parchment paper, petition paper, parchment paper, right? That we call money. And putting your seals, right? The pyramid, and putting the eye of providence, right? On these things so that your perception is strictly focused on money, right? The ego represents the heart. So your heart, your passion, right? Your connection to all is just connected to money and materialism, temporary things, transitory things, right? Animals don't live forever. Dogs live short, cats live short, right? Most animals don't live as long as humans. Most animals don't even live close to as long as humans. And it's getting to the point where now humans are about to live as long as animals. So we got to create our destiny. Okay. We got to create our destiny. And what you want to do is reflect on your life's journey. All right. Reflect, like really look at look at where it's going, look at where it's been, look at where you want to go. All right. That is in 2025. All right. And again, we'll talk about this on the weekend where I get to the 9 year and a little bit more about that. But you want to really look at what it is that you're here to do and really make that your focus and really put all your energy into that. And whatever you need to let go of it. And yes, it's hard to do. And a lot of reasons it's hard to do because you have not seeded the spirit. And the only way you can't get this through books. Again, you got to live it, right? So the way you seed it is through meditation, it's through breath work. It's through being out in nature. It's through engaging in movement, right? It's through affirmations, inner work. The left hand path is not going to do that for you, right? You can have all the tools in the world and be a savage, right? And still continue to have bad relationships, still continue to have no friends, still continue to be a person that is isolated, still continue to be a person that has all the material things in the world but lonely as hell and mad at the world because they can't attract what they want. And they think it's because of how they look. Or they think it's because they're a certain size, or they think it's because they're a certain weight, or they think it's because they're a certain height, or they think it's because they're not handsome enough or not beautiful enough. No, your internal world will attract all those things to you, no matter how you look. I know some boss players that's 4'11", 5'1". I know some boss women that don't fit the American standards of what they call beauty, that are beautiful. Men love them. They always got a man or got one, whatever they want. Why? Because they're loving, they're caring. I know a woman that can't keep a man off of her. Got to push him back, and she ain't the prettiest girl in the world, but she's looking for a certain type of person. Are you that person? That is that type of person? Because your inner light is the real true light. Your inner light makes the external light look better. This is why, right, when you have more currency, financial currency, right, what does it usually do for people? People usually look better when they have more money. They're able to buy more things. They're able to get better makeup, get better clothing, get nicer haircuts, right? Might get some jewelry, right? People start to look better, right? The physical aesthetic starts to shine a little more, right? That doesn't mean that they ain't a piece of shit, though. It doesn't mean that they still aren't insecure. That doesn't mean that they still aren't selfish. That doesn't mean that you should trust them around your children. So your destiny is something of a divine nature. Your destiny is something that will be in service to others. All right. It will be where you serve, where you help, where you aid, where you assist. And this will protect you because once you're able to identify the devil in yourself, you're able to identify the devil in others. You're able to see the devil coming. No one could harm or hex or do so-called black magic. Again, you call yourself black people. Black magic on a high vibrational being. It's impossible. Vibration too high. Electromagnetic field from the heart too strong. What does the Bible say? Put on a breastplate of righteousness. That's the heart. You treat people the way you want to be treated. That's the heart. That's when your your conscience kicks into the consciousness. And this is when the subconscious becomes conscious. This is when the subconscious, the same part of you that's running your breathing right now, the same part of you where the white blood cells are fighting off diseases right now, the same part of you that is governing your eyesight, your respiration, right? In sleep, that's repairing your cells, right? That part of you that is running automatically. That when you say, I'm going to stand up, your bones and everything complies for you to stand up. When that part of you, your conscious, becomes conscious, when your conscious becomes part of your consciousness, life is good. You start running into people that when you're down and stressed, that say, look, I got this opportunity for you. Look, I could help you do this. But you got to do the work. All this is doing the work. Create your destiny. It's not just going to come. You'll continue to, man, listen. I remember there was a point where I was very, very insecure, right? Coming up, what I'm saying? People would tease, say things, got African features, big lips, what I'm saying? Things like that, big nose, And I was insecure as a young man. I can admit that. I had money though. You know what I'm saying? I was working co-op program, work one week, didn't work one week, and I was selling drugs on the side. So I had money, but I was still insecure. So the money was a mask. My inside was insecure, right? The looks was a mask. I was insecure within. It wasn't until I started realizing, and this was like a lot of work, but realizing that the external appearance, yeah, it accentuates, it peacocks you, but it's really who you are within, right? If you could see yourself as beautiful within, then that shit will start to shine without, as above, so below. If you start to think like you're fearless and nobody could do anything, guess what? The universe says, okay, nobody could do anything to you. No one could harm you. And even if it was a bomb to drop on the Bronx tonight, there are certain things that I've gone through, right, that allow me to get to a mentor, right? That allow me to be in quote unquote the heavens, so to speak, right? That allow me to be an archangel. The goal is not to reincarnate back here unless you want to, not to not reincarnate, but to not reincarnate back here if you don't want to not be tethered to the affairs and the things of this planet. As the Christ said, right, in the mythology, to be in the world but not of the world. And the only way you could be in the world and not of the world is you create your own destiny. And only you could do that. So let's get into some rituals and we'll get out of here. All right. So this is a ritual you guys could do. Okay. Get 3 black candles. The number 3 is always a number of magic. One of the oldest spiritual systems, if you look at Hinduism, right? The sign of Hinduism, it looks like a 3, right? That little sign that they have. So in Hinduism is a old, it's taken a lot of comedic science is in Hinduism, right? And we'll get into that in another video. But the Indish Kush, what they call now the Indians, but the Indish Kush, right? They took a lot of comedic or Egyptian spiritual sciences and African spiritual sciences and incorporated it. But anyway, the number 3 is always going to be a number of magic. That's why you have the Trinity, you know what I'm saying? In Christianity and most spiritual systems have some sort of Trinity. Vishnu, they have in Hinduism, Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer, right? There's always trinities. So these 3 black candles, what you're going to do is very simply this. And this is something that I did, right? And something I'm doing again, right? But black candles you could use for two means, right? They're very Saturnian energy. Black Saturn and the color black, right, is related to Saturn. The color black is related to Saturn. Okay. So it has to deal with you understanding that black is not bad or black is not evil, right? Black, but they have demonized black death, black plague, blacklisted, black ball, right? Black black magic, right? They have demonized that. That's why you have to reconstruct your mind from being a color. You have to reconstruct and destroy and sacrifice your identity as a color. I would never call myself foundational black nothing. I'm a god. I'm beyond this world. I'm a universal being. I'm a star seed. I'm made of stardust. That is my origins. I don't claim this world. This world is a school. That's it. I'm going to school right now. This vehicle body is for me to go to school to transcend it. So the candles, what they're going to do is you're going to absorb certain light. And what the 3 black candles are going to do is you're going to adorn these black candles with sage, not the sage that are burning in your house, right, to get rid of negative energy. It's going to be a different type of sage. Or you're going to light, and I recommend you doing this either Saturn day, right, and also after the full moon or during the full moon on Saturn day. Okay, and you could use these small candles if it's something minor, like you know what your addictions are, you know if you're addicted to sex, you know if you're addicted to, you know if you're a grimy person, you know if you know who you are. You know who you are really deep down inside, and you know what hurt you really deep down inside, and you know what you're addicted to really deep down inside. And if you, and there's a calling in you, because we are all, even if you're quote unquote NPC, we're all being pulled via the universal pull and being what's happening to awaken unto ourselves. All right. That's why so many people are coming into spirituality now, even though it's a trend, right? So that they could understand who they truly are. So what you're going to do, light these three candles. You can get candles like this, or you can get three glass candles. Okay. And you're going to sprinkle a little bit of sage. And this is what the sage looks like. So the sage is going to look like this. You could even order it from here. Mountain Rose Herbs is cool, but if you don't like Mountain Rose Herbs, you can get it from someplace else. But right, or you, if you have the sage bundle, right, you could grind it out like this and make it look like this. Okay, but you're gonna get the sage. You're gonna put the sage a little bit right on top of the candle, right, or surrounding the candle, or doing it with the candle. You're gonna put a petition, a letter, right, and you're going to request that this cup be removed from you as Jesus did. You're going to request to purge. You're going to request to purge. You want to purge this energy of addiction, whatever it is, up out of you. And the black candle will take the light, because there is a focus, there is a light to whatever you're addicted to whatever you feel is holding you back, to whatever idealism that is holding you back. And sometimes that idealism could be your pain and trauma from the opposite sex. Don't think that that's not holding you back from opportunities either, because the universe is one. We are all one. We're all one. We're all under source. Everything is under source. So if you think women are bad and nasty, guess what? Women are under source. So they're a reflection of you. If you think men are bad and nasty, men are under source. So they're a reflection of you. So what you're consuming, right? Look at your YouTube. Look at the things that you watch. Look at the things that you listen to, right? A lot of reality shows. How much Love Your Life has drama in it, right? This for the women, right? Reality shows. How much drama are you watching on a day-to-day basis? And how is your life? How is your relationship with other people? Because everything you interact with interacts with you. For the men, the video games, the sports, the masturbation. Like I was talking to this dude about masturbating, right? And he's like, yo, ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I masturbate 2, 3 times a day. I don't care. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I say, how you feel versus you masturbating versus you having sex? Right? When you're masturbating, you feel weak after. You feel weak. You feel like you have less power. And a lot of times you can't achieve your goals and your dreams because you're squeezing off every day. Your Honor, I'm guilty. Okay. I'm guilty of the crime myself. Or I used to be, right? You're gonna be weak. You're not gonna be able to have the drive to achieve it. It just is what it is. Versus if you have a wife or a girlfriend and you dumping that seed in her. A lot of times you don't have the drive to get the woman or talk to the woman out on the street. And this is one dangerous trend I even see in New York City, where I don't see young boys talking to girls no more. I don't see young boys pulling up on women. I used to see that all the time. I don't see that no more. I barely, if ever, see it. Even if I go out to a place or I'm in a bar, most people, the guys, they'll be around all these women and they're on their phones, just like the women. The girl wants to get off her phone, but she wants somebody engaging to talk to. She wants somebody with some character, with some charm, you know what I'm saying, with some confidence to talk to her. Guess where you get that from? Can't get that from your money. Can't get that from your clothes. You can only get that from within yourself. And again, you have to see that. To live, to know truth is to live it. So you got to escape your comfort zone. You got to stop being tethered to the animal in yourself and take a risk. This New Year's Eve, I went out by myself. I did a reading. I was like, I wanted to stay in, but my spirit, there was something in me that just wanted to go out and dance. Like I want to dance to Afro beats, right? And like let me do a reading. Did a situation outcome reading, right? So let me go out, and I had an excellent time. Excellent time. Danced with beautiful random women. Didn't want nothing out of them. Didn't need nothing from them. I just want to dance, and I just want to feel free. And it was something that I wouldn't have done in a normal day. I haven't done that and going out by myself in years, decades, probably since I was a kid or a young man, you know. And but it was something out of the comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? It was out of my comfort zone. It was freeing, you know. Even after, we got some food, met some people in there, we got some food, we was chatting, it was cool. Like it was people, we ain't exchanged no numbers and nothing. We were just chilling, you know what I'm saying? It was just a vibe. And it was something that helped me bring in this year just on a high vibe because I did it. I escaped the comfort zone. I escaped the fear of me being in there. I escaped the fear of me dancing by myself. I escaped the fear of even me just approaching random women and holding their hand and dancing, and fear of rejection, right? Because I haven't done that in a while. If I'm with somebody, yeah, it's a little. If I'm with my fellas or whatever, I'm still gonna operate that way. But to do it by myself without that backing, that's a challenge, you know. So again, figure out what you're addicted to, right? Burn those candles, tap into that. I know I went the other way. Okay. I went a little bit off of it, right? But anyway, AI, all right? So you could do readings through AI right now. You could do tarot readings with AI. I have this app on my phone, Gemini AI, right? And, the readings are on point. If you got a deck, like a tarot deck, like, you know what I'm saying? This is one of my tarot decks right here. I got a couple of them, but this is one of the ones I've been using religiously. All right. And what I'll do, because I don't know every single card, I have abilities, but it's hard for a reader to read themselves. For somebody who does readings for people, it's very hard to read yourself, right? So, the tarot cards help to give you clarity, at least for me, or whatever oracle decks and things like that help you give you clarity. But sometimes it's even difficult. So what I found was I use my AI. So I'll be like, yo, actually, I don't even know. Y'all, I'm gonna do a quick live reading, right? I'm gonna just do a situation and outcome reading right now. And I'm gonna show you how the AI is gonna work real quick. So, and a lot of y'all got Chat GPT. I think Apple has an AI. Well, I have an Android, so it's Gemini AI. But you know, artificial intelligence is the future. It is this year, right? They say that technology is a law. I forgot the name of the law, but there's a law. I think it's called Moore's. It's actually called Moore's law. That technology is going to start changing, or technology does change every 18 months. So AI is just going to continue to ramp up. So it's best to get a grip on it now. Sora, ChatGPT, all those things, right, and learn how to use them. But so the question I'm gonna ask is, Spirit, give me the right answer. I'm gonna ask just a quick. This is not a thorough reading, but I'm gonna ask, what do you see for Black people in America in 2024? Right. So I'm gonna pick two cards. Now I'll tell y'all what they are, and I'm gonna tell y'all how to do the reading. And this will put a lot of tarot readers out of a lot of tarot readers out of business, right? But hey, it's time to do for self, right? It's time for all of us to wake up. So the first card, the Nine of Wands, upright. Okay, that's the situation card. This is the opinion of Black people in America. Okay, this is the outcome card. Three of Pentacles reversed. Okay, now I'm going to ask AI the same question that I posited to you guys. Okay, right now. So let me just open my phone. All right. Hey Google, tarot reading question: how will Black people? Hold up. You got to do this sometimes. Hey Google, tarot reading question. Oh, hold on. Hey Google, tarot reading. How will Black people see? Sometimes it happens with patience, right? Saturn. Hey Google, tarot reading. How will Black people fare in 2025? The situation is the Nine of Wands upright. The outcome is the Three of Pentacles reversed. Please interpret.
The Nine of Wands upright represents resilience, perseverance, and a strong defense. Black people in 2025 may face ongoing challenges, but they will possess the inner strength to withstand them. The Three of Pentacles reversed suggests a breakdown in teamwork, a lack of collaboration, and potential obstacles in achieving shared goals. This could manifest as internal divisions, disagreements within the Black community on strategies for progress or social justice, external opposition, increased resistance from those who oppose Black advancement, disrupted progress, setbacks in achieving economic, social, or political goals. Overall interpretation. This reading suggests that Black people in 2025 will face significant challenges, but they will possess the resilience to overcome them. However, achieving collective goals may be hindered by internal divisions or external opposition. Important note: tarot readings offer symbolic interpretation.
So there you go. So, and we see with this division with who started. I think I'm gonna do a video on this who started hip hop thing because I'm from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I've been here, I've been around, and anyway. So it's a mundane conversation, but it needs to be discussed. But you hear what it's saying, right? That there's going to be divisions, divide and conquer within, and it's basically us within ourselves, right? And so the reading, I would say, is pretty accurate, right? It's pretty accurate on what the outlook is for 2025. So those of us that collaborate with other people that look like us, right, that have similar mentalities, we will win. But those of us that do not collaborate with each other, do not form communities, right? But you don't want to form communities with a bunch of grimy ass people either, right? But those of us who do not form communities, right, it won't fare well. And it's saying that the collective will be divided within themselves. This is why it's dangerous for you to say, yes, be proud of where you're from. Like, you're born in America, be proud. I was born in America too. I got Caribbean family, but I was born here in the Bronx. Be proud of where you're from, right? Nobody can tell me shit about New York. I love New York, right? You should love wherever you're from, but but also remember you're part of everything is from source, right? Everything is from source. So this is just your terrestrial pride. It's your human pride. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it. There's nothing wrong with having fun with it. But don't take it so serious to where you're attacking people that look like you, that's going through a similar struggle because they're from someplace else. Even if they're like doing that, are you God? Are you them? The old saying, somebody's, what your parents may have told you, if everybody jumps off a building, you gonna jump too? No. You know what I'm saying? If somebody hates you, get away from them. Somebody doesn't like you, get away from them. There'll be people of that other culture that'll fuck with you, that'll rock with you. That, everybody from Africa doesn't hate American black people. Everybody from Jamaica doesn't hate American black people. It's silly. It's xenophobia. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's nothing wrong with being proud of where you're from. But when the pride turns to hate, when the pride turns to attacks, right? This is the problem. You know, this is the problem. Problem is not you being proud of being a foundational American. The problem is you attacking other people from other cultures and saying, I'm better than you. That's that human ego shit. That's that human ego shit. Everyone has their expression and their destiny for their point in time. There was one point in time that, and everybody gets a turn on this planet. Every culture gets a turn to rule. Every culture gets a turn to rule. One times it was the Aztecs and the Mayans. One times it's the Egyptians and the Camites, right? One time, it was Europe, right? England and all that. One time it was Turkey. They were the head dogs, right? China's going to get it once. China had it with the Ming Dynasty and all these different dynasties, right? Everybody gets a chance on this planet to rule. Everybody gets a chance to be the big dog on this planet because everything is transitory and everything goes through cycles. So the cycle is we will get back. So again, I just want to break that down to show you that you could use AI to power your readings. And last but not least, right? Last but not least, I will leave you with this. One of the things I have to work on is making shorter videos. But I appreciate you rocking with me on a late night, you know. But remember, you are not the props. Or remember what it say? Remember, you are not your props. Create the magic. Okay. Remember, you are not your props. Create the magic. So create your magic. Become magic. Become walking magic. Become walking power. Fellas, do you know if you don't have a girl and you're able to retain that semen, if you're able to fight off the urges of lust, do you know that you will become more attractive to women? Do you know your natural pheromones will make women more attracted to you? Do you know your natural pheromones will make women look at you? Do you know your natural pheromones will make you more magnetic? Why? Semen, right? Semen retention. Semen is the energy that goes into the woman's vagina, which is a portal that brings in life, right? That portal always wants to bring life. That portal always wants to bring life. It always wants to be engaged. If you hear some women talk, man, some women are more raunchy, bad, you know, some women are more raunchy than men when you really listen to them behind the scenes, right? And you seeing out now with the hip hop, the Sexy Reds of the world and things like that. So remember, you're not the candles. These are tools. You're not the crystals. You're not the herbs. You're not none of that. You are God, and God is in you. When whether you have nothing, you always have your mind. You always have your soul, and you always have your spirit. You always have your mind for the intellect, the logic, and the reasoning. Also, that's the left brain, the right brain for the imagination, the vision, and the holistic thinking. Right? You always have your spirit, the heart. Okay, to raise your frequency or lower your frequency, depending on how tuned you are into the heart, right? Tuned into your wholeness and oneness with the universe and with all, right? You always have that, right? And you always have your soul, which is the gut, basically, right? Not to say your gut is the soul, but your gut is the source, right? What you feed yourself, what you digest yourself will unlock certain things. Diet unlocks healing, right? Diet will unlock health. Diet will unlock a clear mind, right? Diet does that. So your soul is waiting to be unlocked. The soul contains your DNA, right? Quote unquote junk DNA, quote unquote epigenetics, right? The epigenetics, it means that when you're in a certain neighborhood or certain environments, that you're able to change the reality in the way that you want to see it, right? You know, so whatever it takes, whatever you need to do to sacrifice whatever it is, sacrifice it. You want this big house, this big, and look, the universe will give you all those things that you want: the big house, the big car, the woman, the man, the two wives, you know what I'm saying, the three husbands, whatever you need, whatever you fancy here on this earth, spirit will provide it for you, right? But you have to be of service to help and raise the vibration of the planet, but most importantly, raising your own vibration so that you could become a God man or God woman here on earth. That is the point of this mystical journey. It's not to know every single, you never will know it all. Life is a journey, and it's a constant journey. No matter how much you read, no matter how much you study, you'll never know it all. And once you think you know it all, that's when you realize you don't know shit. Because things always change, and life has a way of shocking know-it-alls and setting them straight and embarrassing know-it-alls in public so that they learn the lesson. So what are the lessons you're avoiding? What are the things that you're not looking at? Oh, and today, last but not least, and I'll close with this. Today, Thursday, right? Money works. All right. Today is money works. Venus is in Pisces. Go check Divine Feminine Works video, Mel's video. She did a video on structure and spirituality, talking about tomorrow being Venus and Pisces, right? But Thursday is a day that's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is a day that mystics do money work. Do your money work tomorrow. Get you a green candle or a white candle, simple ritual. Green candle, white candle, bay leaf, cinnamon, right? Write a petition, letter, put it under the candle, right? Stating what you want to achieve monetarily, but also who you're going to become to do so, right? And what you're willing to let go to do so and sacrifice to do so. What type of person will you be in that new business? What type of person will you be with that new car? What type of person will you be with that new house? What type of person will you be with that gold chain? What type of person will you be in that new relationship? It's not just about getting what you want in 2025. It's who you'll become while you're getting what you want in 2025. That's why you went through the shit you went through in 2024. And some of you, unfortunately, will still continue to repeat the same lessons over and over again this year. Even though this is a year of new birth, you'll still repeat. And that's unfortunate, but it's true. But you have to get serious about this work. You have to get serious about this internal work, developing internal strength, developing internal power, developing internal fortitude. Leave the conspiracy shit alone. Focus on what you can control, which is you and your destiny. Leave that shit alone. Whatever happens in the news, it happens in the news. Doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. Matter of fact, you should think it's not going to happen to you on a daily basis. COVID hit the fan. First thing, due to my spiritual work, COVID hit the fan. First thing I said, and many of us that you've seen on here, this ain't going to happen to me. I ain't going to get sick. I ain't going to die. Fuck you talking about? I'm a god, nigga. Let me get this bottle of Corona beer and write coronavirus antidote on that shit and drink it and concoct my own spell, which is what I did, and never got sick. And I was outside and then stay inside during the pandemic. I'm not getting my ego. I'm just giving you proof of concept. We've all just been through 2020. How did you react in 2020? Reflect on this great reset was 2020. Reflect on the reset of 2020 up until now. Really look at yourself and really be honest with yourself. If you're just in the shit for knowledge, man, it ain't worth it, man. It's not enough. It's not enough. A couple real niggas left, but it's not enough. A few real bitches left, but it's not enough. That's what Kendrick said, right? So we need real people, real gods who are not pulled by the sway in this where if a woman comes to read them, you're not just thinking about fucking her. I do doing readings for these strippers, right? And sometimes they be tittied out. And sometimes it'd be an accident, but they titties be out. You know what I'm saying? I can't just have the lustful mind. I got to be thinking about the spirit, right? The spirit world, what I'm here to do for them. They could be innate, whatever they doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to get to the point to where we are really becoming like gods. And one of the things that distinguished melanated people, so-called black people from the rest of the world at one time was the honor, the character, the strength of honor, the strength of character, the strength of nobility. This is why we're all over Russia. This is why there's paintings of us all over Turkey. This is why there's the Buddha is melanated. It ain't for black pride. It's reason why they said Jesus had hair of wool and feet of bronze. It ain't for black pride. It's a black consciousness. It's that primordial mother consciousness. It's that self or savior consciousness. Do for self, nurture, grow, rise up, evolve. Escape your comfort zone. Affirm yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you love you, but know that the mirror is not even a true reflection of your love. The real love is you knowing within that you are enough as you are. To love yourself as you are. And there's no such thing as perfection. But if there is perfection, know that you are it. And not in this physical shell that may be scarred or maybe, you know, beat up in some way or may be sick or may have an ailment. No. Know that within your soul, you are perfect. You are unconditioned. There is no father or mother to your style, but you are one with all things in the universe and all things are one with you. Therefore, you can source all things in the universe. But the only way you'll understand that is through your walk and through your living it. And the more you walk and live it, the more you'll see things elevate in your life. My history on here on YouTube is document. Go back to where I was, go, see where I am now. And there's people that been doing it longer than me and better than me. They have even a better story, even better testimony than me. I'm just getting there. I feel like I ain't even I barely scratched the surface. Barely. There's so much more in store. And there's so much more in store for you. But 2025 is the year that we will all realize it. 2025 is the year that I believe, and let me retract what I said because I don't even want to put that out about some people. No, we're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're going to thrive in 2025. But it has to be tied towards your destiny. And you have to know what that is. So look into what that is. What's really your purpose? What's really your passion? What's really driving you? What is it that you really love doing if there was no money involved? What would you really be doing here if there was no money involved? What do you do right now with no money involved? And are those things serving your highest good and your highest purpose? Or are they wasting your time, mindless entertainment, engaging more of the animal in you? I don't think I've ever been with and I'm just a man, I gotta say it like this. I don't think I've ever been with a woman that watches a lot of reality shows that hasn't caused drama in my life and I've had to get rid of or get away from. Never. Once they watch a lot of it, it's some bullshit coming with it. I don't care how much you read, how much you study, all that. It's your spirit. It's what you feed on. I don't know many people who played a billion video games for a lot of hours, that is able to really achieve things in the real world because it's a false sense of accomplishment. That you beat the game, you really think you accomplished nothing. And all you did was accomplish giving your money to Activision or 2K or Madden or whatever. And take this for somebody who was number 5 in the world in Madden at one point. Take this for somebody who was number 3 in the world in 2K. 2K16 to be exact. I accomplished that, but in the real world, my life was falling apart. With that being said, peace to True to 8, Cat D, Mr. Arcade, Blush, Allura. Thank you guys for spending your night or day with me whenever you watch this. I'm going to try to make these videos shorter. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't talked to y'all in a while. And I love you. I don't see any more questions. So with that said, some of y'all are probably using me as ASMR. That's cool. Somebody told me to use my videos as ASMR to fall asleep. That's cool. I hope you're getting something. I hope, I hope these things are being seeded in your spirit as well. And with that being said, peace, power, and prosperity. Like, share, subscribe. And I will talk to y'all this weekend about 2025. Later.